Jesus, Mary, Joseph, and the wee donkey. That was very, in my head. I feel like there's too much going on.
We have tried to say that we will get this over quite quickly tonight. I don't think there's any way we're going to do that.
You've got a lot of notes.
I've got a hell of a lot of notes. I don't think I've ever had more notes of this.
Oh my God. I've never really looked at the notes before, but I saw you chatting. Wow, Mark has a lot of notes, everyone. I mean, have you written a novel? Is this the AC12 handbook?
This is my PhD.
Right, we better get into it then, because, like I say, my head is just like, oh. Right, come on.
I think this is all quite one. It all pulls in the same direction, so it should be quite logical in how we go through this. So first of all, can we have a 10?
What do you mean 10?
Well, you do like a 10 gun salute for someone who's fallen.
Oh, is that what you mean?
I want a 10 noise at the beginning of the tape. Tribute to Ryan.
But why would we want a tribute to Ryan?
Because
he's a baddie.
Yeah, but I think he's quite a memorable baddie.
I totally agree, but I don't think we should have a tribute, in inverted commas, to a criminal.
I'm quite sad that he's dead.
I mean, what else could happen with his character? Now, when you're out there in the open.
I think he deserved a bit... Yeah, obviously his storyline had come to an end, but I think he deserved a better send-off than to just be shot off screen.
Oh, yeah, okay.
In between an episode.
But we know why that's happened, which we'll come on to later, I'm sure, in your many, many, many notes. That there's a little twist with that, isn't there? But maybe were you thinking that maybe
I don't think there's a twist. I'm interested in where we get to on this.
Okay, well, we'll come back to that later.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about that, like him having an interview with Ted, for example, which I would have really liked to have seen Ted sort of rip him apart?
No, I didn't even need to see that. I just think he should have been shot on screen.
And that should have been it.
And that his character deserved that sign off.
Okay.
It's like in anything when someone's killed off screen. It's only a minor character that should happen to, and I think Ryan was better than that. Now, got to ask a question. Did you see the spoiler that leaked last week?
No, I didn't see anything at all.
Because there was a preview that was released before the season started, which was Ted doing you will be given the full protection of the law and I think it showed, because I only saw it on my mobile, so I couldn't quite tell, but it looked like it was Joe and Kate, and obviously that was who it was this week.
Okay, so I think I got the sense that Kate was still alive.
Yeah.
I'd caught a couple of things online where people had said, "Oh, but in the trailer, the original trailer, there are scenes of her that we haven't seen yet."
Yes.
And I think if Kate was going to be, like we said this last week, didn't we? If Kate was going to die, I think we would have seen it. It would have been a big ending. It would have been a big reveal, and everyone would have been talking about, what was going to happen now with the big three.
Yeah. One thing I don't understand is, why are Kate and Joe on the run at this point?
Well, yeah, this is entirely what, I was saying, all the little twists and everything.
Yeah.
This is entirely what I'm really confused about, because this seems to be that Kate has clearly shot Ryan.
Yes.
Right? Like they say, double tap. She's the one that has the firearms training. We've seen that in all the other series. She's done it. Surely she's done that as they say many times in the show, in her lawful, in is not the word, but as part of, that's what I'm wanting to say, as part of her lawful duty, like
yes.
It is a lawful thing that she has done.
Someone is pointing a gun at her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Joe could have backed her up. Joe could have just said, it's nothing OCG, nothing to do with me. Ryan's clearly a baddie, and I can back up everything that Kate said without dobbing herself in it. But instead, Kate's shot him and then ran off to Steve's house to get
the communal car that they have.
To get the James Bond car that he's bought. And all the while she's like protecting Joe. Yeah, I'm glad.
I thought I'd missed something, and it might be that we have, but yeah, it clearly wasn't clear if we're...
Well, I mean, Kate the whole time, hasn't she said that she doesn't think Joe is bent, she thinks Joe is misguided, she thinks Joe's got issues going on, but she doesn't think she's bent.
And she thinks she's been set up.
Yes, yeah.
But I don't think that running away was the most productive solution. What was she planning on doing?
Well,
just going on the run forever?
She's waiting for... Unless she was thinking...
Go to Spain.
Don't go there, look what happened then. Unless she's thinking, oh, we're best go in case other members of the Yoshi. But then Joe has set her up to be murdered. So why take Joe with you unless you're taking Joe to the nearest police station? Anyway,
yeah. So she takes Steve's car. They have a little system whereby they have a drop box with a car key in.
I enjoyed it.
Through this, we have a little bit of conversation between them, between Joe and Kate, where Joe admits that her mum is Tommy's sister, and Joe's dad was a bent copper.
Or so she thinks.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
The police are onto the car.
Which, again, I was like, how on earth? There's helicopters. They're doing that thing where they chuck all the... You told me about this.
We established earlier in the season what it's called. Do you know what it's called?
No, I've forgotten already.
It's a stinger.
A stinger. They throw the stinger on the... And Kate masterfully is able to brake before hitting it. And she's doing all the stuff, you know, what's this that I'm doing with my hand? You know, when you've got
Dancing? Panjav?
She's doing lots of twirly things with the gear stick.
Do you not twirl the gear stick?
No, but you know what I mean.
Drops a gear, drops it into reverse, spins it round to the donut.
Very good, yeah.
I mean, she will have evasive action training.
That was all very Jason Bourne. I liked it. No, I'd take that.
Yeah, get a small car, put it in reverse. Yeah. So anyway, they're trapped down a side street. They get out, and there is a bit of a standoff. Jo throws down her weapon, but Kate is reluctant to.
Yeah, and again, that I thought was big. Sort of, come on, Kate. A, why are you running away? But B, don't be a plonker.
Yeah.
And I know she thinks they're going to be setting her up. She thinks Steve set her up because it's Steve's car.
Yes.
And how else would they know? She thinks Hastings has set her up because Steve's told her that Hastings has got this money stored in Corbett's wife's... You know, yeah, so I can understand, but yeah.
Yeah, Steve talks her down, though, in the end. Denies that he told her where the car was, and we later find out that Carmichael has had tracking bugs put on all AC-12's vehicles.
It's not good, is it?
No.
It's not very nice.
You're going to see Steve's outside. Steph Corbett's a lot.
Yeah. He's driving up to Merseyside a lot, isn't he?
Yeah. Joe and Kate are arrested and put in cells, but they get a message through to Steve. Well, Kate sends a message through to Steve saying, check out the OCG print shop. We then have the core of any Line of Duty season, the long interrogation scene.
This was a long scene.
This was about 40 minutes.
Yeah, I was
reckon.
checking the thing as well, thinking, how long have we got left?
Do you know I had a good week this week?
No, go on.
The subtitler. Because clearly, in his clipboard, he will have had no comment, and he can just Control and V, Control and V, Control and V, Control and V. Half a job. Yeah, saved so much time. So the first thing that's revealed is that Tommy is Joe's uncle and father.
Which I had seen on Tinternet.
It's on a post-it note.
Yes.
On the big board.
And they had used a word that I'm not going to try and repeat, but it was like homozygosity, something like that. Some sort of genetic...
zygotic monkey.
Yeah. All right.
And says is Tommy's niece-stroke daughter.
Fine. But this is news to Jo, I think. Did you get
absolutely, that? Absolutely, yeah. I believe her that...
Yeah, I totally believe that she didn't know that. And that was such a devastating piece of it. I felt really sorry for her. Well, she looked
that's not
horrific.
A way... Yeah, I mean, that's not a way to... I mean, it's a horrific thing to find out anywhere. But, yeah, in this situation...
And Carmichael, who we haven't spoken about yet, but Carmichael is so sociopathic that you can just see her just giving that information... Like twisting the knife to give it rather than being so, Hastings and Steve are clearly being more empathetic.
Yes.
But Carmichael is like, I'm just going to give you this information and then I'm going to give you more and then I'm going to give you more. There's just nothing there.
Yeah.
I love her.
What, Carmichael?
Yeah, I think she's brilliant. So good.
So in her apartment, they have found a laptop. Amanda has decrypted the conversations. Yeah. I mean, it's not said that it's Amanda, but...
Yeah, let's say it is.
Yeah. So they've found the conversations. The IP address being sent is from Joe's house. The IP address that's received was in Spain. I'm not convinced about that.
Oh, right. As an IT professional.
If you go to the trouble of an encrypted chat service, you use a VPN. So, I mean, it could be anywhere. Mm-hmm. And that might be a plot point later on. That it might just be a complete red herring. But it being in Spain obviously points to Thurwell.
We barely knew him.
Yes. I mean, do you reckon he... Yeah, we'll come back to that. You know where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
We found out Joe's mum has taken her own life in 1996, and Joe opens up at this point a little bit.
Really, really sad tale, actually, and brilliant acting by Kelly MacDonald. She just gets smaller and smaller and almost younger doesn't sound right because she looks so haggard and world-weary, but she's almost childlike when she's explaining. Infantile, is that what you were trying to go
Not infantile, because I think that's childish.
Okay.
But yes, there is a word, okay. But I'm not going to get at this point. So.
But you know, what a sad story to be. Her mum was born into crime. She had her when she was 15 to the bent copper, as so we're led to believe. And then Joe was born, and then she was doing really well. And she was in Glasgow when she was 16. And then her uncle, in inverted commas, Tommy, comes along and says, "You're going to be in the police." And that seems to be... It's a thread going through Line of Duty. You've got it with Dot Cotton, you've got it with Ryan Pilkington, that placing people into the police at a young age and then them doing your bidding. Yeah.
So a few revelations that we get in quick succession here. We find out that Jo had case files in her drawer which show her predecessor theorising that Gail Veller's case could be a contract killer. And then Buckles soon moved on that SIO. What is an SIO? Is that a senior investigating officer?
Yeah. So we haven't seen who was... Because when we first go into the series, Joe's in charge, Kate's there, the whole team, you feel like they've been running that case for ages. This was news to me, that there was someone else. I don't know if it had been mentioned before, but the whole idea was that Buckles had moved that person on, she had been brought in, a bit like the Pilkington, Ryan being brought on the team as a PC. But yeah, more these case files, I mean, surely they're numbered, and... Like, they seem to be missing anywhere. They're in Buckles' boot. They're in Joe's house. How many case files are there?
So she admits to planting the burner phones in Farida's house. So Farida's now innocent.
Yeah, she's out of it.
She's been beaten up.
Like, I know, yeah.
Joe tipped off to the raid on Carl Banks's flat.
Well,
Terry's flat. Yeah.
Terry's flat. Why do I always get that wrong? So yeah, she sort of gives the game up for everything that we knew already. Like she sorted out that decoy raid that we kind of guessed that. People sort of knew that.
She manipulated Buckles as part of the investigation.
I love the fact she said it wasn't that difficult.
I imagine not. She admits that the evidence against Terry was planted. She won't go so far as to say it was Carl Banks, but it seems... I don't know whether they're leading us down this path, and if there is... We've only got an hour left, or it's probably going to be a bit longer, probably an hour and 20 minutes. At least it's a bank holiday next week, so we don't have to get up on the Monday morning. But there could be some revelations coming about who's killed Gail Veller, but who could it be at this point that would be more entertaining?
The interview confused me somewhat in that she was choosing to give some answers and choosing to go no comment on things that I kind of thought, why would you go no comment on that? Like the Carl Banks thing.
Yes.
I can understand why she's going no comment when they're pushing her down the line of the, in inverted commas, the bent coppers. So when he's, Hastings is pushing for Osborne, Hastings is pushing for Buckles, Carmichael's trying to move away from, she's muttering under her breath, there is no evidence of institutionalised role, So she's doing all that. She's protecting her seniors and protecting herself in her position. So I can understand why she's scared of a senior police officer having her done in. Fine. Yeah. But on other things, I didn't understand why she was protecting the OCG.
Yes.
But I think she gave quite a bit away, and there was some really good. It's actually as like an education person. Not the way I would describe myself professionally, but an education person. But someone in education, I really enjoy watching the interactions between the different people in the interviews and sort of looking at tactics for trying to get someone to open up.
Yes.
And I thought there were some beautiful bits of interviewing technique in there.
From Steve, from Ted, not from Carmichael.
Yeah, and Steve picking up on the body language of Jo Davidson when she wants to speak, and he then goes back to the emotive point that he sort of feels that she wants to open up on, and sort of prompts her, you were talking about your mother, and she was like, yes, I want to speak more about this. I thought there were some really lovely bits of really subtle acting in there.
Yeah. The print shop from season 5 has been raided,
Oh, yeah, it is.
and there was a strong box with Gail Vella's laptop inside.
I didn't know that that's what they'd found. Did you get that straight away? You know, when they said there was box and there was a laptop and some other things in there. I didn't know. I thought it might... Do you remember when Ted took his laptop into like an IT place and later on said that he had pornography on it and he was getting rid of it?
Yes.
And I thought it might be Ted's laptop because we were led along the pathway of thinking that he might be using his laptop in the way that Joe is doing with the Spanish, in inverted commas, person.
It'd be weird if he took it into a shop too. If they revealed it during this interview.
Yeah, I know, but that's all I could think of was, well, who has a laptop that went somewhere? So I couldn't remember the stuff about Gail
There was a laptop
Vella.
with recent Google searches of Irish phrases and cheap hotel rooms.
Oh, yeah. But I was getting a bit confused. There's so much to take in, isn't there, that even just simple stuff like, well, of course, her laptop and her, they were looking for all of this stuff, but yeah, it's there. And I like the fact that Joe pushed back on... Are you still laughing about your joke?
Yes, I am.
are, right?
Yeah, can you tell?
Yeah. I like the fact that Joe pushed back and sort of said, no, I didn't know it was there all the time. You searched that place, but the search was done 18 months ago. It was like a copper's instinct, which she clearly has. She clearly enjoys being a police officer.
We then find that there were files on Gail's laptop relating to an investigation into the Lawrence Christopher murder,
which we talked at length about last time. So they're really bringing that all in together, aren't they?
Joe seems to not know anything about this, and I believe her.
Yeah, I believe her.
From what it's worth, believing a fictional character. Yeah,
I believe her, and I believe when she says that, when she's talking about Gail Vella and Lawrence Christopher dying awful deaths.
Yes.
I totally believe her because I think the acting that Kelly MacDonald's doing, I think, leads you down the pathway of believing that she is thinking she's going to end up the same way because it's the same people involved.
Yes, absolutely. We then get on to linking the entire case to Marcus Thirlwell. I think this seemed like a bit of a stretch.
I don't know. Thirlwell has been mentioned before. There are people, when you think about it in real life, there are people who are in the background that aren't seen all the time. I don't know where they're going with Thirlwell other than maybe her thinking that he was her dad or something.
Yeah.
When she's talking about the policeman that was her dad, and he's clearly been involved with all of these incidents in the background, and then he was disgraced, then he's off to Spain.
Yeah, seems to be. It seems like it's a pretty quick jump. It's like last season, and I've mentioned it before, but with the... Oh no, it wasn't H, it was 4.
Oh, right, yeah.
It just seems, and then that is the truth. It just seems like, well, that's a copper that was involved with a few things. It must be him. Like, it would be a thread of investigation, but it doesn't seem to be.
At least Jimmy Nesbitt gets to have his mugshot up on the screen again.
Yeah.
He gets paid every time his mugshot comes up.
He will.
Will he?
Yes.
Because it's his image?
Yeah. This goes back to... I think this goes back to like the thing with Crispin Glover in Back to the Future.
Isn't that a different jurisdiction?
Well,
speaking as a lawyer... Aren't those different laws?
I wouldn't say it's use of someone's images.
Rights. Yeah, I'm not too au fait with image rights, but yeah, I might look that up.
Should we explain about Crispin Glover in Back to the Future too? We probably should. It was quite a landmark case, as I understand it, because Crispin Glover didn't want to come back or wanted more money to come back.
Yeah.
So they dressed someone up like him and used archive footage of him from the first film as well, and he sued and got royalties for the film because they...
I did think as a child that it was the same actor. Obviously, I didn't know he was Crispin Glover because I was a kid, but I thought it was him because although they do have him upside down for quite a lot of the film.
I mean, I didn't realise a Jennifer changed between the two films until growing up. He looks completely different, so it's not necessarily the most... yeah. So then we find out about the shooting of Ryan. The bullets came from Kate's gun.
So it confirms what we thought. I still don't know why Kate's on the run for it, but...
Joe takes the blame.
Yeah, still don't know why.
And earlier on, she has handled Kate's gun with a intent to get her fingerprints on there. And Jo quotes regulations perfectly.
Absolutely. See, I think she's a great police officer.
It's like Carmichael last season with her investigation. She names the regs and the sub-regs and everything like that about why she was protecting Kate and why it was okay. The question is, who was giving Ryan orders? Was it Osborne? And Carmichael cuts everything off.
Absolutely cuts it down. Do you think we're meant to believe that Carmichael is a baddie? So in cahoots with the OCG, with you, or are you thinking, like I am, that she is so ambitious that she is protecting her seniors, who will then give her even more promotion and even more money, and she's protecting her own position, and she's coming into this new job, wiping everything clean, and actually she doesn't really care about the institutional problems because she doesn't want to think there's institutional problems.
I get the feeling that she doesn't care about the bigger picture because the bigger picture doesn't get her immediate results. I think she's bothered about the immediate results, and that's all she's bothered
that's
about.
Really well put, yeah.
She's doing the job that's in front of her without thinking of like the bigger strategy. If
Yeah.
we're using wanky corporate terms,
She is very. I know people like her, and I sort of put my hand up tentatively here, in that people who are really detail focused but don't necessarily step back and look at the bigger picture. And again, I'm putting my hand up.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it, but
but yeah, I do get that sort of person. But it is very short-sighted when you've got someone there who is giving you this information, who could possibly crack. If you had 3 senior officers sitting there saying to you, we will protect you, we will do what you know, and if you think that they are on your side, you might be persuaded to give more information that you intended, but she's not interested.
I will be disappointed if she is part of the
I agree.
conspiracy. I think it's just too obvious. Like, it's a lazy writing to have this person who comes in. She's too much of an obstacle to the investigation for her to be part of the
And I think
problem.
last series, when she was involved in the investigation with Ted, she did go with the evidence once the evidence was put to her that she was going down the wrong route. It wasn't that she, and then even at the end there was another female chief inspector, or someone else was there and sort of like, give it a rest, Patricia, sort of thing. It was such, enough's enough, and she took instruction. I think she's really, really, I mean, God, Anna Maxwell Martin, she's just phenomenal. I remember seeing her in, was it Bleak House? It was a Dickens. I think Gillian Anderson was in it as well. It was an all-star cast. It was one of my favourites. It was old BBC, lovely period drama with everyone possible in it.
Yes.
All, a bit like a David Copperfield, a film that we watched recently, where you were sort of going, oh, there's another actor. Oh, yeah, we know them. It was, she was in it, and she was just fantastic and a real standout star. Kerry Mulligan was in it as well, actually. Speaking of, because we've just watched Promising Young Woman. We've just
review in the feed currently.
Yeah, if you want to hear our review of Promising Young Woman, it's in the feed. But it was a fantastic performance, and I did think, well, where has she come from? And she just seems to pick these really different roles. She's in a BBC show called Motherland, where that's a comedy, and she's just a harassed mother.
Yes,
which I really love. I find that so relatable.
I've watched the first episode of
it.
Yeah.
And then this to come in, the Patricia Carmichael, the way she smiles. It's the smile. It's such an acting choice, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That smile at the end of every sentence.
Yes.
Or in the middle of and the way that she's so crisp and everything stops. She doesn't, like I'm doing, ramble on. She's not a rambler. But I thought there were some really interesting choices during the interview where but you always forget that she's there, and she's just sat back, and then she comes forward again.
Yes.
And you sort of feel the tension between her and Ted and Steve particularly at one point when she's whispering instruction to him again. But other times, she fades into the background as if you forget that she's there. What a phenomenal casting. I think Jed Mercurio and team must be rubbing their hands together to get her in, because you kind of love to hate her.
That's the perfect way to describe it. She is the antagonist that is just you're happy every time she's on screen. That's absolutely perfect. So we go to Kate, and she has not been charged. There is not sufficient evidence that she was involved, but there is mentioned that there was a double tap. Now, had you heard of this before?
Yeah, double tap. Like that. Oh, sorry, I've just done it to you.
Thank you.
That's not what you want on a Sunday night, do you?
Remember, kids, to the head double tap. Guns don't kill people, it's just rap. And that would normally be the work of a trained firearms officer, of which
Kate is.
And Joe isn't.
And Carmichael says that she's not gullible, but she is pragmatic, which I think really fits the character. She's not going to go after her. She like she says, she's pragmatic. She knows what's happened.
Yes.
Which means Kate's back on the team. She's essentially taken over from Joe, really.
Well, yeah, she's the senior investigating officer as part of MIT,
Murder Investigation Team.
Yeah. I can't hear MIT without thinking...
What, the American...
Massachusetts College of Information
Technology?
Yeah. There was a car park meeting between Kate and Steve.
All seems to be forgiven. It's all very mate.
Well, I mean, he's not done anything wrong.
No, I just, after everything that's happened. Nice to see Kate's back in her beautiful coat as well. I was very sad when I saw Kate in a prison cell with some awful, regulation jumper and terrible shoes. And I think, what a waste. Get back in those beautiful coats, Kate. Honestly, I am totally obsessed with them. I know it's really, really, I know it's one of those things where, women shouldn't, but genuinely, her Kate has looked really... And I think it's a really interesting choice from her. She looks really together. She's left the team. She's made some friends at MIT, and I think it's really shown in her wardrobe and in her styling this time.
Would it shock you to say that I've never noticed that?
Yeah. She has some beautiful coats.
Okay.
Just love her coats.
That's exactly what I thought.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. They go to investigate one of the workshops from last week, and they find significant amounts of machinery in there that look like they produced the bullets, the guns that are related to the Jimmy Lakewell ambush. I think 2 episodes ago?
Yeah, the big one.
There's far too much stuff in there to be removed by 2 people. So they ask for the floor to be removed in the workshop.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either.
I mean, that's a...
Yeah. I need to see that again, because how did we get to that? I know he said there were loads and loads of things in the van, and he listed the whole of B&Q.
Well, yeah, and I think what it's indicating is that they certainly weren't there to move stuff away. They were there to do
get
some
stuff
work.
Out.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for that.
As they're there, Chloe rings, and there is a raid on Thirlwell's villa in Spain.
Now, very exciting for you.
Yes.
Because Amanda shows up.
Yes.
Favourite ancillary character, Amanda.
Yeah.
And she's been doing DuoLingo too.
I had the same joke, yeah. For those of you who don't know, and I don't think anyone will do.
How would they?
Yeah. I'm currently learning Spanish on DuoLingo, which Elaine takes great joy in laughing at me.
It's every night.
Well, yeah.
Every night.
I've got 153 day streak, I think it is.
Mad. It's one of your competitive things, so it's a thing that you do and you get rewards for not missing. So that's great. That fits right into you. But also, you've learnt Spanish.
Your bebe on my letter.
Thank you.
That's I eat a suitcase.
Yeah, some of the phrases you come out with recently.
Actually, that's I drink a suitcase.
Oh, well,
so,
yeah. Don't we all?
I mean, yeah.
Did you? I nearly nudged you and went, are you getting what they're saying? Can you translate?
No, because the problem with Spanish is everyone speaks so quickly. It's almost like blah, blah, blah.
I got muerta?
Yeah, muerta.
Which is dead.
Yes.
I got that at the end. Yeah. But yeah, Amanda, look at her. She's brilliant. They need to bring her in more. Make her part of the team, properly.
I'm really hoping for a female spin-off between her and Chloe.
Yeah. Oh, they'd be brilliant
fighting
together.
crime.
Yeah.
Give them some superpowers.
All right.
and send them off to more exotic locations each week.
That would be, but I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
I know you would.
Yes. So anyway, there was a raid on the Spanish villa of Thirlwell, but when they arrived there, and I think it's right, there was a man and a woman dead in there.
A man and a woman. I didn't know whether they said 2 women, but you see a man on the floor. As soon as you saw him on the floor.
Go Marcus.
Oh God. Right, so you see him on the floor. I mean, you don't see his face. Purposefully. It's interesting because you don't see Jimmy Nesbitt. Do you know what I mean? You just see I thought it was like a flowery shirt, but I might be wrong.
Do you reckon this is just so that they don't have to have Jimmy Nesbitt acting in this?
Yeah, maybe.
And they've done essentially
it's like an Easter egg.
It's the biggest fake out since Danny Mays died in the first episode. I guess.
Yeah.
If that's the case, that they're bringing someone.
It's a fun thing.
Yeah.
It must be really fun to be like genuinely to be Jed Mercury and go, I'm just going to do that because I can.
Yeah. My last notes are Ted is cracking.
Oh, Ted is cracking. Yeah. Oh, Ted. He's in the lift and he's having. We've all been there. I usually do it in the loo at work. But you know, you've been there before when you go in and you just have a bit of a moment and you just think, oh, this is a rubbish day.
And I would just swear at my desk.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're a bit more open than I am.
Yes, I think it's a very different environment where I work. And Jo is threatened.
Oh, she is absolutely at the end because it's the same.
The woman
the same guard, isn't it?
Injured Farida and scolded
Lindsay Denton.
Yes, she's a baddie.
She is a baddie.
She belongs in Prisoner Cell Block H.
I honestly thought that was part that they were all in on it, and it was going to be like 6 of them beating her up, and she would like die. But she sees with a mate who looks they look very similar.
Yeah.
She sees that all of the videos are on and everything. I don't know what they call it. Did Steve call it like a VSU or something like that at some point? Like
I guess which is vulnerable something. Oh,
right. Yeah. So
but a VPU, vulnerable prisoner unit.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true or not, but
yeah, we'll take it.
There's CCTV everywhere anyway, so she is somewhat protected. So that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
There's not many like character moments this week.
Do you not think?
I think
the
it's
whole
more
of that
functional.
interview is character moment.
No, for the main 3.
All right. Well, Kate gets quite a bit to do in terms of I'm on the run.
Does that really build a character?
I think it shows you that she's not going to lay down and. But then I'm confused as to why she didn't.
I don't think that's a character building.
Oh, right, okay, right, fine.
Steve gets a final warning email telling him he needs to come in, otherwise he's going to be...
We did make that joke, didn't we? Because we saw him go near his desk, and I turned to you and went, he's going to get another email. Yeah. Oh, and look, he did. But also, he was looking to say... It seemed to zoom in on this whole idea that he would be suspended, and it sort of zoomed in on it as if that was going to be a plot point that he wanted to happen, like, oh, I get suspended and I can go and do X, Y, and Z. But
Steph.
then Mark.
Ted looks... Are you okay?
No!
Ted looks really shifty when someone mentions Lee Banks. Did you spot that?
Yeah.
But
the
camera
he does look
cuts
shifty
to him.
at various, but like...
He looks very uneasy after what he said. And it was
Yeah.
mentioned in the previously on, so it's clearly something we need to be reminded of.
I was just going to come back on him, but I don't understand why.
Not so much a Chloe this week.
Yeah, no super Chloe. She's still been brilliant.
She was bossing it at the crime scene, just pulling out. Oh, yep, this is the vehicle. Yeah, blah 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 blah. But yeah, not much for her to do.
Just being very competent.
She's not gonna be evil, is she?
No, she's not. I don't think she is. I think she's had maybe her moment and
Line of the week. From Steve, when someone asks him what they were talking about, having access to each other's cars and home keys for extreme situations, and Carmichael asks him, what would you class as an extreme situation? And he replies, an unexplained interruption in the chain of command. Spot on.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts for next week?
I have no idea. I genuinely have no idea. I know I should have loads of theories and I should know, this is going to happen, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because when Fleming and Jo were on the run, I was like, this is like a different show.
Yes.
This is not what... And I couldn't understand why. But I do like that. I do like the fact that I just don't know. This has got to come to an end. This has got to come to a conclusion. I know I've been saying that all the way through. I don't think the series is going to be the last one, but I think we are going to find out who the big bad is. I think Hastings is going to do something really rash because he's losing it and he's not got any time.
I think we're going to get an interview segment of Osborn. I don't quite know how they're going to pull that in, but I've just looked, and currently it's only scheduled for an hour.
Oh.
Now, these things can change during the week, and schedules change and everything like that, but a couple of different places it's only listed an hour. And I still think it's Wise that's the big bad.
Who's Wise?
Mrs. McCluskey.
Oh, the chief superintendent?
Yes.
I think that's what she is. As we know from all the other episodes, we still don't really know the rankings. But yeah, okay. But she hasn't been in it, and Osborn's constantly been shown. Like, he's always up on the screen. They're always showing us.
Not anymore.
There's this man.
He's
been shredded. Yeah.
Carmichael asked for his picture to be shredded.
And he's been. No one said, "Is it Wise? Is it?" But I do think. I think we're coming to a conclusion. I'm probably going to have egg on my face next week when, once again, things are... do you remember at the end of every series, there's always things left open, isn't there? And we get the closing credit... Well, they're not closing credits, but the closing moments where you get a flash up of someone and then you get some text to tell you what's happened to them.
Yes.
Or, what might have gone on off screen. We might get that again. I just don't feel that it's the end of Line of Duty. I think I just don't know where else they go, but that's probably just my lack of imagination, because I couldn't have thought this up this week. I didn't see what happened. I didn't think this was going to be a long interview section, and I didn't see Kate going on the run and grabbing Steve's car from an underground bunker.
Just before we go, just like to say, and I'm sure he's definitely listening, congratulations to Tommy Jessup.
Oh, yes, he's in Spielberg.
A TV show, is it? Series or something
I
like
thought
that?
It was a film, but...
It's a TV series, yeah. So Tommy Jessup plays Terry Boyle. And, so he's been acting in the new Steven Spielberg TV show, Masters in the Air.
Okay.
Masters of the Air, sorry. I have no idea what it's about.
No,
I have no idea. Right. But, I mean, fair play. Like, he's really good in this.
Really good. So it was good that came out today, didn't it? So that was nice timing.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like a period piece.
Yes, I think I saw costuming.
Well, I'm not interested anymore.
Oh, Mark. Yeah, it might not have electricity.
Yeah.
And as anyone who listens to our main... main show, what I mean, our non-Line of Duty shows, will know that Mark's really not interested in any type of TV or film where electricity isn't present.
Definitely.
You're not a Lord of the Rings fan?
I respect them, but I just have no interest in watching them again. That's,
because they can't put a light bulb on.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
magic.
They're very long as well.
They are very long. Yeah. Fair enough. As is this podcast.
Yes.
Right, come on. We said we would do a shorter one.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for that roundup, Mark, because I feel like I understand it slightly more.
I don't, but there we go. Well, thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah, thanks everyone. It's penultimate one tonight, so finale next week.
I think
and it's bank holiday in the UK.
Feeling quite bereft after this.
Yeah, I think we're going to be really sad. I know it's long and we're often editing till midnight, but it's so much fun and so much interaction from you all. So thank you so much, everyone who's been in touch with us and given us your theories, especially when I'm sitting going, I just can't think what's going to happen next week. Thanks to everyone who's been getting in touch with us and telling us about what you think about the show and what you think about Line of Duty. Yeah, it's just been really, really good fun.
If you want to get in touch, give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram, where we are The Honeymoon Pod.
Yeah, we're at The Honeymoon Pod on Instagram and Twitter. I've just said exactly what you've just said. That's great.
And if you want to make us really happy, please give us a nice review on any podcast platform where you can leave reviews. We'll see you next time.
See you next time, everyone.